Good afternoon or morning or evening, wherever you may be. My name is Amy Hughes. I am a project coordinator with Keep Loup Basin Beautiful, where we focus on reduce, reuse, and recycle practices. So part of that, I got to go to the Keep America Beautiful conference. This last conference was in 2020, beginning before all of the COVID issues started. And I got the opportunity to meet with what they call the mascot. And that was actually an awesome experience because it is a dog. And so the owners of the dog actually has written 2 books. And I'm going to share one of them with you today. The first one that she wrote, it starts with the dog as a puppy and learning to do what she does best, and you'll find out, she was actually pretty much almost self-taught. This is going to be one way that we're going to continue on our track of educational programs. So please know that we are doing some different realms, trying some different technologies, and trying to keep our education programs moving forward with Keep Loup Basin Beautiful. So anyway, look out for us. Check out our Facebook page, Keep Loup Basin Beautiful. Check out our webpage, and if you have any questions, make sure to give us a holler or contact us. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get started and introduce you to the first book, and it is called Retrieving with Eevee. Now, I got the opportunity to have them autographed. They actually brought Eevee, and then the owners are actually in the process of training another dog. So I got autographs. Eevee's autograph and Vandy Lee, the other lab's autograph, and they're both yellow labs. So that was very fun. So, Retrieving with Eevee. Welcome to Labrador Lane. My name is Eevee, and I want to share my story with you. I am a yellow Labrador retriever who lives with my human family in Evansville, Indiana. Labrador Lane is located in a woods along Pigeon Creek. A lot of wildlife share my special place. Turtles, rabbits, squirrels, ducks, geese, foxes, deer, owls, and great blue herons keep me busy. I like to swim in my very own lake and run all around my big yard, but sometimes I have to take obedience lessons. My daddy says I have to learn how to be a good citizen, even though I am just a little puppy. My daddy says I am a good girl and so smart. I can sit, stay, lie down, walk on a leash, and retrieve. I love to retrieve best of all. Sometimes I show my wildlife friends the lessons I have learned. One day my daddy took me down to the Ohio River. I got so excited when I saw all the water. I tried really hard not to jump in, but I just couldn't resist. All those big sticks floating along the bank. I loved retrieving those sticks, but then something shiny bobbed up and down right in front of my nose. Since I am so smart, I remembered what that shiny thing was. My family puts those shiny things in a big blue box. Yes, it was a soda can, just like the ones my family recycles. I made my retrieve and took the prize to my daddy. He was very proud of me, but he said that I could cut my mouth trying to retrieve cans. He was telling me that I could take it home to recycle, but I had already plunged back into the river. I couldn't believe my luck. Soda cans were floating everywhere. I didn't know which one to grab first. Just then I heard my daddy say, "Eevee, you can't retrieve all those cans. We would be here all day and you could get hurt. Maybe some of our friends will help us retrieve these cans another day. I really didn't like leaving those cans, but I had to be a good citizen and obey my daddy. It was lunchtime, so we drove to one of those places that hands you a sack of food, full of food, out of a window. I love to stick my head out of the car and drool at those nice people. As we were leaving, I saw a man drop his yummy sack on the ground. I got so excited that I barked to let that man know I would gladly help retrieve his sack. As Daddy stopped the car to pick up the sack, I forgot my good girl manners. I jumped out and had that sack in my mouth before Daddy could get out of his seatbelt. I looked all around for the man who dropped his sack. He was gone. And to my surprise, so was the food in the sack. I was really confused. My family always puts our empty sacks in the kitchen trash can at home. I am sure they do this so I can walk by and sniff for a few days. Then I spotted 2 more sacks and wondered if the food was still in them. I looked around for the owners of the sacks because I was convinced these people didn't know their sacks were missing. Maybe they saw me retrieve the empty sack and wanted to leave me sacks of food. You know, I always did get special rewards in obedience school for retrieving. My thoughts were quickly interrupted as Daddy took the sack from my mouth. He threw it in a trash bin that was just a few steps away from where I found all the sacks. Eevee, you can't retrieve everything around this place. We would be here all day and you could get sick. Maybe some of our friends will help us retrieve these sacks another day. I felt kind of sad as I hung my head out the window on our drive home. I love sniffing the air when we are driving on the Lloyd Expressway, but I kept thinking about all the things I didn't retrieve. I didn't understand why people would throw or drop things if they weren't playing retrieve. I felt a little better when some kids waved at me as their car passed by. Ouch! I felt a little sting on my nose, and then it really started to hurt. I whimpered for a moment, and then I just let out a howl. My daddy pulled over to see what had happened, and he saw smoke coming from the car seat. I had been hit by a cigarette butt. Those kids who waved at me were nice, but some adult in that car had thrown a cigarette out when they passed us. My daddy put some cool water on my nose, and he said my fur was going to be okay. Now, I'm just going to add a little side note here. I want you all to realize that cigarette litter is actually one of the highest percentage pieces of litter that is thrown out of the window or not disposed of properly. So it is highly encouraged that you put them in the proper disposable container and dispose of them properly. On with the story. I didn't feel like sniffing any more air until we got to Labrador Lane. I knew I wouldn't have to worry about little bugs throwing fire at me once I got home. The only kind of bugs and fire would be from the fireflies that I like to chase in my backyard. That night, before bedtime, my daddy said he had been thinking about what a good citizen I was. I had tried to retrieve the trash people left, but it was more litter than I could ever retrieve alone. He said, Eevee, let's call our friends at Keep Evansville Beautiful, and together we can spread the word. My daddy and I are both wagging our tails, dancing around the room. As we were dancing, my daddy gave a cheer. Eevee, E-V-I-E. But then he stopped because he had another idea. Eevee, your name can send a message to our friends. E, every, V, volunteer, I is E, essential in keeping Evansville beautiful. Now, I know I am so smart. I'm Daddy's little girl. Help Eevee retrieve litter. Keep Evansville beautiful. And let's keep Loup Basin beautiful, beautiful too. We can all learn from Eevee. Her job is to only pick up 3 pieces of litter a day. But I know that we can go and pick up 3 trash bags of litter a day easily. Thank you for joining us, and I can't wait to come back and read the second round. Eevee goes clean and green.